What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, like I said the other day, we have to go ahead and put a huge emphasis on Portal because personally, from what I can see right now, it seems like Battlefield 6 is about to go ahead and revolutionize the whole franchise. Something that we have been begging to happen for ages seems to, well, actually be happening. It's sad because with Battlefield 2042, we kind of got finessed when it came down to the specific Portal mode. And, obviously it was advertised as a love letter to the Battlefield fans. But let's be real, it didn't really end up the way that too many people wanted it to end up. It turned out to just be the only server browser that was available in the whole game. And even when it comes down to that, the only servers you could really find are against bots, just like bot farm servers. Or, even better, the milsim servers. That's pretty much it. Very basic, minimum freedom when it came to Battlefield 2042, which really put a bad taste in people's mouths when it came to Portal. And I feel like a lot of people probably felt the same exact thing when they went ahead and tried to advertise Portal within Battlefield 6. All they can remember is the disaster that was presented within Battlefield 2042. But this time, as you guys can see right here, as the background footage for today's video, this is Portal. This is the new improved version of Portal, and they definitely made sure to go ahead and showcase and describe exactly what it's all about. But ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can see right here from Battlefield Bulletin over on Twitter saying, Portal returns to Battlefield 6 with a new version that will let creators use an updated toolset that features editing tools to create wilder experiences. The spatial editor, powered by Godot, lets you edit the play spaces of existing maps and elements with the ability to move some objects around and create unique UIs and script NPCs' behavior with the AI scripting tools. Portal will also add modifiers to allow players to set up hardcore rule sets with one-shot kills, closed weapons, and so much more, all with full progression and XP. It's coming along with Battlefield 6 on October 10th. I am so happy to hear that it's coming along with full progression. That is amazing to hear. If I'm going to assume correctly, that means that you'll be able to rank up your level, your character level, your weapons. You'll probably be able to unlock attachments, which means that people will, actually want to try Portal out. And I hope that they make this a public list too, and not just, kind of push it to the side and make people have to hunt it down. This was one of my biggest concerns when it came to Splitgate and their map editor, and I still think it's really cool. I love the custom lobbies that you can have. But one problem was that, again, it wasn't on the front page, so it wasn't easily accessible to, other players who are just casually hopping on and, going to play the game. They have no clue that it's a bunch of cool custom-made maps in the rotation. And number two, you can't really progress. You're basically going to play private match. So if you don't have certain stuff unlocked, you can't use it. And even if you play more custom lobbies and you want to play with your friends all the time over playing pub matches, you'll never get anything. Ever. You're going to be stuck at level 0 for eternity. And it's just not really going to be a fun time. This right here is huge. I hope they have a front screen, mode that allows you to see custom made and experiences that they entice casuals to hop into and give it a shot, but allowing them to actually earn and progress through the Portal system will definitely encourage people across the board, especially casuals who do enjoy playing custom matches and playing with buddies and not worrying about going into the public experience. If they know they can progress the game at a casual rate without having to sweat it out, that is going to be so much more enticing to someone that is casual, or even people who are very experienced, who just don't have the time on their hands to put in a crazy grind. That's another, kind of common problem nowadays, is that a lot of games require you to dedicate all your time to them. So it's hard. You can't have that much variety. You can't really go play any other games, because if you go and play something else, it's just going to make your grind even harder. And nowadays, a lot of these games are PvP, and a lot of them are competitive, and people are kind of racing to get the best of the best, which is going to make you fall behind, and you're going to feel yourself falling behind because you got to go against the best of the best. The FOMO mentality, right, ladies and gentlemen? Knowing that you can progress privately is just phenomenal for everybody across the board, especially if it's weapons that you hate, for example, as well. You can go ahead and, progress them there. But ladies and gentlemen, forget about the progression. Who cares about that when we are looking at this? This is what I'm talking about. This is what Portal was supposed to be, and I think this is what everybody envisioned. And of course, it's not like the craziest, map editor known to mankind. It's probably not going to be up to par with something like Halo, for example, right? When it comes to Forge. But Portal was supposed to be something that progressed over time, and I was worried that the developers were going to give up on it after Battlefield 2042 with just how poorly the overall game did. And, obviously it does not come down to the developers. They might have saw the potential over the course of years over multiple different games being released and how it's going to progress. But EA, on the other hand, the people who actually make the decisions, they could have looked at it and said, the overall package was horrible. Portal barely gets anybody up in the mood. This has to get cut and we have to reprioritize. It just makes me so thankful to see that they didn't cut it. And they are indeed improving it. And as I stated before, it's not going to be next level. But this is a good sign that EA is taking this mode very serious. And they have that mentality, that vision of the future of what this mode can be, later down the road. And as more Battlefield games come out down the road, 5, 10 plus years down, I guarantee that this mode is going to be something absolutely ridiculous. But where it's at in its current spot is still going to be phenomenal, and in my opinion, a ton of fun, and it's going to add a unique fun twist on Battlefield 6. If you're ever tired of having to play the competitive modes or dealing with people who just want to, grind heavy, and you just want to relax and have some fun with friends and create some goofy stuff, or even play goofy creations, no matter what it's around, whether you want to fly around in jets, helicopters, tanks. I've seen so many creations in this small little clippet of what they showcased here that I can only imagine what the full potential is going to be like when you unleash this to the overall public and everybody gets their hands on it, especially the people who go very heavy with map editors. But the reason why I say this game mode is going to completely revolutionize the franchise is because it adds to the longevity of Battlefield. I say it for every game that goes ahead and introduces this into their game. Sadly, of course, as I stated, you probably can't completely edit up maps in this one. I'm assuming you could just rearrange and add to the already, previous maps. But that doesn't mean they can't progress Portal to that spot later down the road. But currently, even in its spot right now, this game can thrive heavily off of the community putting in work for the development team. If the devs run into situations, like I said, I state this in all these other games, if worse comes to worse, and these devs need to hunker down and hyper-prioritize bugs, fixes, so on and so forth, then they can lean on the community. They can go ahead and do so while the community still pumps out fun things to enjoy within Battlefield. They just can't sleep on the mode. They can't put it in the back end of the browser to make you have to hustle and work to find it. As I stated before, they need to make sure something is right front row and center to showcase the community's creations and showcase that this is indeed a big mode within Battlefield 6. And this can help Battlefield 6 push into the future and fill in those tiny slots of time where it might be a little bit of a down period in content. Every game has them. You could just go to any community and you'll see that people have moments where, it gets a little bit rough and things are slow and nothing's going on and it's hard to, go ahead and enjoy yourself or come back into the game. We all have those periods. But the community can help grind through them, adding that replayability factor and that rush that you typically get when new content's introduced into a game. I stated this many times before, but the gaming scene has shifted. Back then, you didn't really need endless content to enjoy a game, right? People used to just enjoy the games because they're really fun. But nowadays, things have changed. People need content. People need things to do, things to occupy their minds. And, if you can please that target audience, they will consistently return to your game nonstop. If there's always something going on, if there's always something special to find out and play, they will be back. Man, I gotta be honest, I really hope that they can nail Portal this time around. I hope it's not a flop of a mode. If it is, obviously, me and probably many others will go ahead and report on it. But I just hope it doesn't return to being a wasteland like it was in Battlefield 2042, where it literally just consists of nothing but bot lobbies, bot farming lobbies, and milsim servers, one-shot servers. I want to see unique and creative ideas come to life that add that special spark to Battlefield that we've been missing for, let's be honest, so many years. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about Portal down in the comment section below. Do you think that, I'm overreacting to Portal? Or do you agree with me that this is definitely a massive step in the right direction compared to 2042? As I stated, I don't think it's going to be, the next game-breaking map editor, but I think it's going to add that extra spice that we've been craving within this community for ages now. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post to your daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. Battlefield, COD, Splitgate 2, Arca Raiders. You best believe I post about all these games on this channel. And as I always say, sometimes I double upload, so you never know when something will go live. So of course, hit that bell so you can stay notified. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.